Well, there are different kinds of movements. So I would say the populist tradition in its genuine, practical, community-building spirit did take on concentrated power in the 30s, but it also had a pragmatic quality. So it built things. It created co-ops and reading rooms and libraries and community centers. And so I think one can distinguish between movements which are kind of intoxicated.
Protest.
And focus simply on whipping people up, and movements which have a practical, problem-solving
So, and what you're getting at then is you're getting at this psychological issue, I think, of the difference between how we see passion sometimes today and how we might have done it when we were more pragmatic and more work-focused or collaborative-focused. Right now, passion is about what excites me at this moment, or what scares me, or what...
It's the difference between slow brain and fast brain.
Right, and so what's slow brain, fast brain?
Well, it's Kahneman's idea that people tend to react in public out of the frames which are on the top of your mind that
and
you
this
process.
Is Daniel Kahneman.
Process information, but there's also the capacity to think and to process.
Well, there is the capacity,
through,
but is there the time? This is another issue we deal with now.
Well,
do I have the, I mean, and come on, I mean, I've talked to senators about this. Are they able to read every single brief that comes on their and you know what, they're not. There's so much information out there and it's so diverse. We're so media saturated. So this is, I'm not defending fast brain thinking, and as Kahneman says, there's a place for that. In fact, I hate the fact that we are reacting only out of you know, fear or you know, being startled into it. And yet there's anger.
Well, I mean, our work is how do we regrow Humphrey drug stores? And connected to that, how do we develop work, like the civic teacher, citizen teacher, or a citizen business person, whose work is to see their work site as a civic site. So that is not done through fast brain thinking. I mean, it has little elements of it, but you build relationships, you develop cultures, you have
an intention.
Well, and you connect what you're doing to the life of a community in ways we've really eroded. Now, we also think that to do that well means impacting, say, higher education, because higher education is an upstream institution in our society where people develop a lot of their identities in work and their sense of what it means to be a professional. And over the last 50 years, higher education's understanding of professional has become much more narrow. The intellectual historian Thomas Bender talks about a shift from civic professional to disciplinary professional. So people tend to think in terms of their silos. And higher education's culture has become more detached. We found that out when we did a lot of interviews at the University of Minnesota in the late 90s. That people who'd been there a long time talked about the growing detachment.
They were pained about this. The individuals were, you know, maybe the organization was, you know, felt this was a good strategy, and maybe they didn't. But the individuals, including individuals in leadership, were uncomfortable, didn't like that. They had felt there was something missing.
Well, there'd been an erosion of purpose, and also an erosion of relationships. So it was a less relational culture. So we think that's has to be reversed for the sake of our democracy or society.